Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here and share my perspective with you, uh, understand our limits, and maybe break the limits. So, I'll start with my own story. The wind was sharp, the air thin, and each breath felt borrowed. At over 4,000 meters on Mount Toubkal, the highest peak in North Africa, your world narrows to one simple question: why are you here? My legs ached, my lungs burned, every cell in my body screamed, stop, just stop. And yet, somewhere between the snow and the sky, another voice just whispered back, you have come too far to stop at almost. That's when I realized I wasn't climbing the mountain. I was unlearning my limits. Because limits aren't walls. Limits are not walls. They are the invitations. All of us have them. We all have limits. You, me. Some are written into our bodies, others into our fears. And sometimes they are spoken softly by people who mean well, like our friends, colleagues, anyone around us. They speak it very softly, like what they say: be realistic. It's too late. That's not possible. But most limits are not around us or in the world around us. They live quietly in our own minds, disguised as practicality. Years after the climb which I did, I faced different kind of mountain. During the lockdown, when the world felt silent, so did I. We all were silent, right? Everything shut. Theaters were dark, streets empty, no office, no hustle bustle. All the rhythm felt shut. All the life stopped. But in this silence, a thought began to echo. What if the limits I felt were not out there, but in here? So I began to write. The turning point when stillness becomes strength. And it started as a simple act, very simple act. A pen, paper, and restless mind. We all were like, it was a chaos, right? We were all restless, shut into the room. So each word became a step upward. Writing my perspective and thoughts during lockdown wasn't becoming an author. I never intended to become an author. It was like, oh, come on, I don't want to be an author, right? It was about surviving my own thoughts, what was going in my mind, what I wanted to say, what I was observing around, right? And when the book later received the Excellence Award, many other awards, it wasn't about the trophies I received. And it didn't matter to me whatever awards I got. But what mattered is the transformation, which I felt. And I had discovered something profound, that creativity is another form of climbing. The muscles are different, but the resistance is same. The resistance which I felt when I was going up the Mount Toubkal in North Africa, it was same. You face doubt. You face fear. You face fatigue. And the most important thing is, you face yourself. When I finally stood atop Mount Toubkal in North Africa, honestly, it wasn't victory I felt. It was stillness, that calm, that I'm out of my body, right, on that 4,000 feet high. And that calmness, that stillness, that kind that strips away everything. It just strips away everything unnecessary. That is fear, pride, noise, chaos, everything which is unnecessary. It just strips away. It's only you there, and your thoughts, and your mind. And only truth remains. And you know what that truth is? That is being simple. And the summit isn't a place. It's a perspective. I really felt that, wow, the Atlas Mountains, which were so high when I was coming up, I mean, I was looking like this. They were like fortress. But when I was on the top of the summit, when I looked down, those mountains, which were looking like forts, were looking like tiny stones. And you can imagine where I was and what I was feeling. I learned that limits don't vanish. Limits, whatever we have, they don't vanish when you conquer them. They shift like horizons. You reach one, and another appears. You reach another one, and another appears. But you're not longer afraid. You don't have to be afraid, because you know now the secret. You know the key. You don't have to be fearless. You don't have to be fearless to rise. You just have to keep moving despite the fear. Because I broke that wall, the fear. So, lessons from the climb, or every mountain, real or metaphorical, teaches three things to all of us. First, limits test what is real, not what is possible. All the limits, they don't test what is possible, they test what is real. The challenge does not come to stop you, right? It comes to show what's still alive inside you. Secondly, courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It is the decision to move within it, to move within that fear, right? Say, for example, if your knees aren't shaking a little, or when I was going up, I'm not shaking a little, you're probably standing still. You're not doing anything. You're dead. You have to feel that pain. You have to feel that what I'm doing, wow. If that wow is not there, you're not moving. And thirdly, every summit begins inside you. It starts in your mind before you take a first step. If you don't realize, or if you don't prepare yourself, it will not move. So when I was going up on the summit, my body had given up. I was dead. My senses were no more, right? But what was active was my mind, right? My mind was telling me, move, go ahead. It's easy peasy. Here, you reached. Here is the summit, where my body has given up. So unless and until your mind is not ready, unless and until your mind doesn't rise, your body never will. Friends, we all carry mountains. Self-doubt, loss, expectations, anxiety, chaos. But at the same time, we also carry the tools to climb them. All the anxieties, all the risks which we have tools to climb them. Now, what are those tools? Hope, resilience, and imagination. Right? So, for me, whether I'm writing a poem, performing on stage, or speaking, like here I'm speaking today with you all, it's the same journey. It's about attitude. It's about thought. It's about altitude of thought. Every word I have written, every audience I have faced has been a rehearsal for the climb. Now, what is that climb? Life. Right? So, as an actor, theater taught me reflection. What am I? Who am I? If I'm playing in a character, so that reflection. Mountains, they taught me endurance. Right? And writing, the theater, that taught me empathy. And together, they taught me this. Redefining limits isn't about breaking barriers. It's about expanding the space within you until the impossible fits. So, when I look back, now I don't remember that pain, that cold, that soreness of that climb. I remember standing above the clouds, realizing that the sky does not have a ceiling. That day I stopped climbing the summit. Honestly, I stopped climbing the summit, or also I stopped chasing the summits. I started embracing the ascent. Because life isn't measured by how high you climb, but by how deeply you rise within. So, if you take one thing from me today, right, today, let it be this. You don't need to escape your limits. You don't. You need to redefine them. You need to redefine your limits. We all have our Mount Toubkal to face, the mountains to face, the challenges to face. But the view is waiting. Where? On the other side of, I can't. And that view is honestly very beautiful. When you reach that point, I can't, and you see the other side, wow. When I reached the summit, I was dead. But you know what? That 1 minute of push changed everything. I was just a new person. I just forgot that I am in tremendous pain. I forgot that my senses are not working. I just saw that view, and that was so beautiful. So, redefine your limits. Redefine your life. So, if you redefine your limits, you redefine your courage, your life automatically changes and you redefine your life. I learned a lot from what I did, from the theater I did as an actor, right, playing different characters, being into those characters, going into the treks. And also, I'm a car enthusiast. I race, right? When you race, you don't look around. It's just the road, right? Everything vanishes. You break all the limits. So that gave me that courage. That gave me that, okay, what life is, right? So we all have to redefine ourselves. We all have to understand our limits. And as I said, limits are not walls. They are the invitations. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.